Hello, everyone. I guess this is live. This is new for me. I think it's recording, so I guess I'll just start. It's been it's been quite a while since I've given you an update. Just for your information, I had my Inspire surgery October of 2022, and after that surgery, I experienced some fairly significant tongue paralysis that it has taken quite a while to resolve. And I anticipated, based on what I know about how I heal, that I would probably take about a year. And so it's been just a little bit over a year. The good news is I got activated last week. So I'm really excited to tell you about that. Um, I was able to well, I'll start back in May. I went to see my pulmonologist in May, and at that time, that doctor was not particularly enthusiastic about how long it was taking me to heal, and was, to my mind, it felt fairly impatient to have me get activated. And I did tell her that I felt like it was gonna take me about a year to heal, and I think for her, it just felt like it was just too long. So her recommendation was that I go back and see my surgeon for possible removal of the device, and I was not, uh, comfortable with that. I didn't think that was appropriate given the fact that I was aware of how long it would take me to heal, and that I was willing to wait so that this could be a successful venture. I didn't enter into this lightly. I did a lot of research because I was looking for solutions to the CPAP. And I know there's lots of different things that can cause sleep apnea, and there's jaw surgery and nose surgery and palate surgery and all this kind of stuff. And my sleep apnea, I after all that research and talking to the surgeon, I knew that this device would be a good fit for me over all that other stuff. 'Cause that other stuff, there's no guarantee either. And I didn't wanna go through, surgery after surgery after surgery trying to resolve the interior construction of my, mouth and throat to try and resolve sleep apnea when my obstruction has to do with the fact that when I lay on my back, my throat just collapses. And so that's why this was my tongue moves into my throat. So this was a good fit for me. And she wasn't necessarily on board with how long it was taking. Um, I also moved cities, like quite a distance. And so there was that too. So I had an opportunity to find a new doctor, and I did that through the Inspire rep. I called her and talked to her. Actually, she might have called me to check in with me to see how I was doing. This is the same rep that was in the surgery, so she was aware of my situation and was part of my surgery and was there from the beginning. And she gave me the name of the rep out here, and gave me the name of a really good doctor. That the rep and the doctor are a team. That was the other thing that I noticed. There seemed to be a power struggle between the doctor and the rep every time I went. And you just can't have that. They have to be a team. They have to be on board together. And so my new pulmonologist, my new rep out here are a very good team. They have done a lot of these devices. The pulmonologist is very aware of all the intricacies of it, and the rep was very knowledgeable about just how to proceed. So I went to my appointment, took my little box that had the device in it, or not the device, the remote, and got activated last Wednesday, not yesterday, but a week ago Wednesday. So how did the appointment go? Basically, I went in, we talked about my case. I am out here on the end of the bell curve. I think of all the people in this area, I have taken the longest to heal. So my situation is very much not normal. It's an outlier in the Inspire community, and, um, and so I'm not doing these videos to scare you away from it, just to let you know that there's somebody out there that's taken a really long time to heal. And now I'm activated and I'm excited to share with you how that's going. Um, so I'll just tell you what happened in the appointment. I laid down on the table and he had like an iPad or something. And and there was a cable that had a little, like, electronic pad on it, and he just laid it right there on my device and proceeded to do a variety of different tests to see how my tongue responded and my throat and just all kinds of stuff, and was doing all kinds of things to get to a baseline of where I could start. And so we determined that baseline, and it was comfortable for me, and so that's where I started. And, the first week was great. It was brilliant. It hardly, opened my throat at all because it was such a low setting. He didn't wanna start very high because he didn't want to, have me revisit all that, like, paralysis and stuff with the nerve. So we're starting super slow. We're going really slow to give my body a chance to respond appropriately. Um, but I slept for the most part pretty well last week. The exciting thing for me is I have had to sleep kind of elevated on 3 pillows since my surgery because using the CPAP is just intolerable. I've tried to use it and just keep up, but it just doesn't. So I sleep elevated, and sleeping elevated, long enough, it's kind of messing with my back a little bit. So I actually took one of the pillows out last week. So I was pretty excited about that. I'm down just down to 2 pillows. And I'm sure as this continues that I will be able to sleep flat again, which is what I'm really excited about. So my goals are to get a solid 6 hours of sleep a night, more if I can, but six is my goal right now. And and just not be woken up by my sleep apnea. And to be able to sleep on a flatter surface, flatter pillow. So we got that all done, and I went home. And how does it feel? Well, it doesn't feel. I didn't. I thought it was going to be this like tingling sensation, but it really isn't that for me. It just kind of moves my tongue, and I thought it was going to be a constant stream, but it's not. It's more of like a pulsation. And what the rep told me is that because of the lead that monitors my breathing, that helps determine I don't know if it's just how soon everything goes. So it's oh, how do I describe it? It's constant in that it's kind of pulsating, but that pulsation is sort of matched with my breathing, if that makes sense. Um, does it wake me up? No. I do not feel it while I'm sleeping. I have a 30-minute delay on my device, on my remote. So I hold it up to my chest, push the on button, it makes a little beeping noise, and then I have 30 minutes to fall asleep basically. And I don't have any problem falling asleep in 30 minutes. Um, and then it's set for 7 hours. So after 7 hours, if I sleep longer than 7 hours or I forget to turn it off, it automatically turns off, which is kinda nice because you don't wanna be walking around during the day and have that device going. Um, I was also concerned that it was gonna, like, make my tongue stick out, and it doesn't do that. It doesn't make my tongue all stick out or anything. Um, so far so good. Yesterday, I turned it up 1 notch, so I was interested to see how I slept last night. Didn't notice it again, even at the little bit higher intensity, and, and slept really well, slept through the night. So, I'm glad for that. So how am I doing with my healing? Um, I still when I chew, particularly chewy foods, will get a little, like, sensation, like the muscle's tired or whatever back here in my ear. But, if I'm really sleep deprived or if I sleep on this side all night and I don't move because 'cause I'm so tired, I'll wake up and it'll be sore. Um, but it doesn't persist, and it's not something that I notice just as I'm going throughout the day, I'm fine. There's still a tiny bit of numbness here, but again, don't really notice it unless I poke myself. I don't poke myself, so um, I figured this is going to continue to heal. My tongue is pretty much back to normal since I've been activated. I notice I wake up in the morning, my tongue feels a little sloppy, but it resolves itself throughout the day. And I'm sure that's just because that impulse or that pulse is um, making it's just working that. And so we're doing it really slow because we don't want to, go backwards. So we're just letting my body get used to that sensation. Um, so far so good. I'm really glad I did it. Even though it's taken a long time and the healing's been long, I'm I'm really glad I did it. I did this because I was looking at my life and I knew for the rest of my life, however long that is, that I was not going to be able to be a CPAP person. And so, the other thing that's really nice about it is I don't have to take that CPAP machine on trips. I don't have to carry an extra bag. I don't have to find, distilled water. Um, I don't have to clean it all the time. It's just I don't have any of that. It's freed me from all of that, which has been a real plus. Um, the other thing that's nice is that, now I just have to change the batteries in the remote, a couple of AA batteries or something. And then whenever this battery needs to be replaced, I'll go in, they'll do a little incision, and the battery access is right there on the top. They'll change the battery, stitch me up, I'm done. And so it won't be the big whole thing like it was before. Be pretty straightforward. Um, so I'm really glad that I did this. For those of you that are on the fence, I'm not here to tell you to do it or not. You have to know your body. You have to know how you heal. You need to know how you respond to the anesthesia that they give you. You need to know how you respond to pain medications. Um, if you're able to determine how your nerves heal, some people heal quicker than others. If you're someone who's a diabetic, then that's something to consider because healing is slower if you're a diabetic. If you're someone that has maybe, fibromyalgia or something like that that affects your nerves and pain centers, then that's something to consider. So there's a lot to think about when you're doing the surgery. I know it sounds like a quick fix and an easy thing, and it can be for people, I guess. I mean, some people do the surgery and they're great, and a week later they're fine, and a couple weeks later they're ready to be activated and everything's smooth sailing. But it's been a little bit more involved process for me. In terms of the device staying put while I sleep, it still moves a little bit, but not like it was before. Initially, I was wearing a soft bra without an underwire to bed, and it just held it in place. And I found that to be a good solution. I don't need to do that anymore. It's not moving as much. But every once in a while I'll feel it kind of pop up a little. I think it's probably going to take another year or so for the tissues to all kind of heal, get in place for that to really just become part of my body. Um, so it's definitely diminished over time in terms of its movement. It's really important not to mess with it. Um, just leave it. Let it heal. The more you mess with it, the more you create a little pocket in there, and it's kind of like getting pierced ears. Um, when you get your ears pierced initially, for those of you who've had pierced ears, you got to kind of twist the little earring in there, and you got to wear the earrings, right? You can't take them out because they'll grow back. but over time, the skin heals inside your little hole there, and then you have a space, and then it doesn't really grow back, and there you go. Same thing with this. You gotta leave it alone so that the tissues can heal around it. The more you mess with it, you're creating a little hole in there, a pocket. It'll, you might have movement. You don't want movement. You just want it to stay put. So that's my advice, I guess. I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but that's my advice. Um, what else? I guess that's it. It's been a good thing. I will I should be at my threshold in a couple of months and hopefully sleeping 6 to 8 hours a night without interruption. Um so I'll try and do another video in a couple of months to let you know how that's going. If you have any questions, I'm certainly willing to try and answer them. I'm not a doctor. This is not medical advice. This is just my experience, and I've been doing these videos because I felt like there were kind of gaps in the education I was able to get before my surgery, and so I'm just trying to share that with others to you know share with you how it's kinda going with me. In terms of visibility, you can't really see the scar anymore. I mean, it's there, but if you really look, you could probably see it. This one's still a little bit more pronounced, but it's healing fine. I'm not really that worried about it. Um, I don't typically have any pain. Um, if I am really sleep deprived, I've noticed that my tongue will get a little sloppy. But I think that's just indicative of the fact that my body just hasn't gotten what it needed. Um, the rest of the time, I'm fine eating, talking, um, all of that. My tongue is straight now. It doesn't veer. I don't I don't have a lisp. I don't feel like it's not working, I guess, basically. So I'm back to pretty much full strength. There's probably still going to be a little bit of numbness over time, but I fully expect that to resolve itself. Again, I'm special, so it might take me a couple of years, but I'm uh I'm okay, with that. Oh, some people are asking me questions on the chat. Let's see. So Clark, yeah, you got numbness. And then does the initial pulse from when you turn on the device feels stronger than the stimulation you get after the 30-minute delay. No, it feels the same. The only thing that would maybe make it feel stronger is the fact that I haven't felt it for however many hours I've been awake, and so that initial pulse, it's like, "Oh," but it's nothing. I mean, it's really nothing. So, again, I'm on a really low setting right now. They started me really low, so I don't know what it's gonna feel like when I get to the point where I'm up. But, um but yeah, other than that, I'm fine with it and excited, like each week, each Wednesday rolls around, I'm like, "Oh, I get to go up a notch." So I'm excited. Um, let's see. I think that's it. If you have any questions, please, like I said before, feel free to put them in the chat or whatever, and I'll try to or the comments, and I'll try to answer them. But I feel like, I am a success, even though initially it looked like I was gonna be a failure. I'm glad that I've been patient through the process. I'm grateful for, a good, doctor and Inspire rep. Oh, the one thing I did wanna share was that I tend to get swollen glands right here if I get any kind of sickness or anything coming on, and I've noticed this one will, feel a little bit more sore and hurt, but the doctor told me when they did the surgery, they basically had to really move that out of the way in order to get to the nerve, and so that might be something that's still resolving itself with me too. Again, doesn't hurt all the time. I don't get swollen glands all the time, but um, I had some things with COVID, which, oh my gosh, that's a whole nother thing. But anyway, so my glands will get a little more swollen sometimes. You can see they're kind of swollen today. Anyway, but that's the only thing. I have been activated for 1 week. That's how long I've been activated. But I got my surgery a year ago. So I'm not somebody I haven't had a normal path. But anyway, thanks for watching. I hope this goes up on my feed so other people can watch it. I'm not entirely sure how these live things work. Um, but I hope everybody is able to get what they need uh, in terms of an education about the Inspire device and also what their best course of action is for their own sleep apnea issues. So this has been a success for me. So thanks a lot.